there a way to do that? Anybody uses Zoom all the time? No idea. Okay.
I don't think you can once you set up the meeting.
That's what I was afraid of. All right. Well, ooh, Melissa, maybe.
Did you find one?
No, I was going to say maybe I could give you co-host and then you could let people in the waiting room.
I was
Okay.
suggest
I can do that.
Yeah, but I don't even know how to do that. So
I think it's under host tools.
okay. All right. Let's see. Allow all to enable waiting. Ooh, maybe I can uncheck the waiting room. Oh, I have disabled the waiting room. I did it.
Yay!
Excited. Hopefully now. All right, I'm going to see if it automatically lets people in now so that I don't have to monitor this for 30 more people being able to get in. I think we're good. Okay, so I'm going to close that out. Hopefully everyone can get in now. Welcome, everyone. And we are going to get started. So I am going to share my screen so we can get to the right place, have the right tabs open. And let's go here. All right, can you all see my screen? Yes, no, maybe. Perfect. Okay, so this class is officially called something like AI for Business, your new AI workflow that will save you hours every week. So this is a summary class of most of the tools that I have been using on a weekly basis now for several months. And it is a fire hose kind of overview of all of the tools and some use cases, ideas of how to use them. We are not going to like deep dive into these tools as much. I'll probably have some follow-up classes after where we can spend an hour on each one of these because it would just take a really long time to get through all of these as quickly as I need to. So I did try to send out notes ahead of time that just basically has the name of the tool so that you can take notes on it, or you can ask me later. All right, let's see if I can get my screen to switch. Here we go. All right, so these are the 6 tools, 5 actually, that we're going to cover today. 6 will be a bonus if I talk fast enough. Okay, so first we're going to be going over custom GPTs. Second, NotebookLM. Third, Google AI Studio. Fourth will be Gamma. 5 will be MiniChat. And then 6, again, that's the extra one if I do not run out of time by then. Okay, so let's get going. Okay, who I am and why do you care? So I am a systems person. I am not an agent. I am not a lender. I am not a tech person. I am a systems person. I actually got into my AI journey in February of 2023, 3 months after ChatGPT launched. I found it fascinating. And I knew that I did not know anything about it. And so I wanted to learn from people who were already using it at a higher level than me. So what did I do? I started an early adopter AI panel. Over 100 people, I think, were on that webinar and had some really good speakers who were teaching me what I didn't know about AI. Ever since then, I was hooked, and I kind of have just been watching it for several years now, up until this year, possibly using it, maybe how much of you are also using it, just for basic things, not at the level that I could be. Okay, fast forward to this year, the most important thing for you to know about me is I really didn't start using AI at a high level until March or April of this year. So now I am speaking on AI in front of like people, like 10,000, 15,000 people attend this National Real Estate Conference in February. So I've been asked to speak on AI there. So all of that to say, it doesn't matter where you start as long as you start. So I have come this far in less than a year. So if I can do it, you can do it. So again, if you're going, what what button do I press and where do I find that thing? You can go from that to, hey, look at all of the cool things that I've built in less than a year's time. Okay. I learned AI quickly because I used AI to learn AI. So I'm going to show you some of those tips and tricks that I've learned to use it and to learn it over this past year. Okay, so if I can get there in under a year, then you can too. And let's see, going forward. Okay, so first thing to know, why most people use AI the wrong way, and the main thing that most AI classes consist of. Okay, so most people on their journey with AI are using something like ChatGPT or any of the other learning language models. So that could be Claude, Gemini, any of the big main ones. And what they're doing is they are taking that search bar that's in the middle and they are typing in their question just like they would a Google search. Okay, you're asking questions. That is not the correct way to use AI. And in fact, if you can just make one quick switch in your head, you will get so much more out of AI. Okay, so instead of asking questions, you want to give it commands. Okay, AI is always going to work best if you give it direction, context, and constraints. Now, that being said, most AI classes, and there are tons and tons of AI classes out there that you can sign up for and learn from probably smarter people than me, but most of them are going to spend the majority of their time teaching you how to prompt AI, right? They're going to teach you all of their acronyms of all of the things that you need to remember for how to tell AI the right way what you want it to do. Who has time for that? I don't have time for that. I'm not going to remember all of the acronyms. So, what I did instead was I just created or use a prompting pro. Why should I have to remember all of the different things to say and do for it to do the right thing if I can just have AI tell AI in the right way the thing to do? So, that one tip or trick has saved me thousands of hours. So no matter what AI program that you are using, a language model like ChatGPT, like Claude, like Gemini, it is going to know the other AI systems that are out there. So instead of you having to prompt it in the exact right way, you can literally tell your program what other program you're going to use and how to talk to it. And it will give you the prompt that you need. Okay, so you do not have to think about acronyms. You do not have to remember all of the correct ways to prompt. You just have to tell whatever one you're using, I want you to talk to this one for me, and here's what I want it to do. Okay, and it will do it. I'm going to show you some of those type examples a little bit later on when we get into specific tools. Okay, that's good. Okay, so don't ask it questions, give it commands, and tell it what you want it to do or what program you're using, and it can just talk to that program for you. Okay, now the stuff we're going to go over today is going to be pretty overwhelming. Do not freak out or panic or think this is way too much for me. I promise if you can have a conversation, you're good. That is all you need to know is how to breathe and how to talk. Just like you would talk to a person, just how you would talk to me. That is as hard as it gets. Like I said, I am not a tech person and I can do this. If I can do this, you could do this. I promise. Okay. All right. So moving on. Here we go. Tool number one. Okay. This is where everything starts for me. And I believe that ChatGPT, because it was the kind of first one in its industry to do this, is going to be around for a while. So I personally, I know there are lots of different ones out there. People have very strong opinions out there, but for me, I'm going to be using ChatGPT because again, it was the first one. It's the one that I know the best, and it's the one that knows me the best. Okay, so you can do the same thing in whatever program that you want. So it can be the same thing in Gemini and Claude, whatever. But for me, I'm just going to show you in ChatGPT because that's the one that I'm the most familiar with. Okay, so when people are concerned about AI, they are concerned that, it's all going to be fake and artificial and not sound like them. Well, if you train your AI, if you train your ChatGPT to sound like you, then guess what? It's going to sound like you when it creates things for you. Okay. It also is going to learn how you like to hear things, how to best talk with you. So I'm going to show you that. All right, let me switch tabs here. Okay, can you see, Melissa, can you see my ChatGPT one? Perfect. Okay, just want to make sure it's auto switching. Okay, so let me show you a little bit about where to personalize your ChatGPT and how to do that. Okay, now ultra personalization in ChatGPT is only available on the Plus version. So you do have to pay the $20 a month in order to be able to personalize it and build your own assistants and tools. Okay. Now, it used to be that you could still use custom ones that other people made on the free version. It's just not going to remember things. I would say if you are going to be using chat at a high level, you probably do need the paid version. Okay. It's not that expensive. And all of these tools, again, you're replacing whole people with a tool instead. So, in my opinion, if you're going to replace a person for 20 bucks a month, you can probably afford that. Okay, now another quick note, up here, right here, you'll see there are different models of ChatGPT. For anything with a brand voice, if you want it to sound like you, I hate all of the fives. I don't like 5.0. I don't like 5.1. I don't know how much longer it's going to be available, but for anything that is supposed to sound like me, I use 4. Okay, so this one right here if you want to make that note. So anything that's going to be brand wise or speaking or, an email, a social media post, anything like that, I use a 4. The 4, whatever you call this model, I guess, for anything for research, things like that, the 5s are fine. But if you're writing something and you want it to sound like you, then use the 4 model. Okay. All right. Down here, at the bottom is where you personalize it. So you click down here and you'll see personalization. Okay. When you go to personalization, this is where you can tell it how to sound when it talks to you, what you do, and more about yourself. Okay. Now, if I bring up my chat and we have a live demonstration, there's no guarantees. It may have a few off-color remarks or not polite words that it might throw in there. So I'm sorry if we're demonstrating it live, then it's going to sound like me. So that's how it's going to talk. Okay. So you can see where I've told it to sound like me, how I want it. I do not want to read a novel. I want it to be quick and to be funny because that way I can have a conversation with it. Okay. This is who I am. So I would highly suggest if you do nothing else today that you at least do this inside your chat. Go in here, tell it what you do, what your business is called, who you serve, what you want to do, because if you fill out all of this information, it's going to remember and it's going to give you tons better content if you just fill this out. Okay, you can put it your struggles, your ideal clients, who you want to talk to. So you can see here, my ideal clients, who do I resonate with? I want to talk to people who were just like me. I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to be high pressured. I want to be known for this. So you can fill out this whole section inside your ChatGPT and automatically all of the responses and the things that you start generating are going to be so much better if you just do that. Now, The other cool thing that you can do in the personalization is you can connect it to things. So you can connect it to your Canva account. You can connect it to your Gmail. You can connect it to your calendar. So you can actually start using this as an actual assistant in your everyday life. It can put things on your calendar. It can put things, it can send an email for you. It can create a Canva template that's already made for you if you connect all of these things, okay? So this again is where you're going to make this really work like an assistant would be in your business, okay? So that is all under, right down here where your name is, again, under personalization. That's where you want to do that. Once you do that, that is step one. Okay. The other thing that you can use chat for is to literally create an assistant for every area of your business that you need help. So you can create a marketing assistant. You could create a research assistant. You can create one that's just for coaching. You can create one that's just for training and onboarding. If you are running multiple businesses, like I do, then I have different assistants for each one. Now, I call those assistants bots. You can call them what you will. What it is a custom GPT. So for short, I just call it a bot. So let me show you where that is. These are all my chats. Okay. And over here are my bots. You can even see I have one to make me skinny. I don't use that one very often, but you know, there's all these different bots that can help you do all sorts of different things. Okay. Now, if you don't want to build one yourself, you can go here to this Explore store. And if you explore these custom GPTs, these bots, you can find ones that were already built by other people. So let's say you don't have time, but you really need one that's super, super smart in QuickBooks. Well, you can just search for one that's been trained in QuickBooks, and you can find a whole bunch of ones that people have built already that are going to help you with QuickBooks. Okay, so whatever it is that you're working on, you don't technically really have to learn much anymore when it comes to programming or things like that, because you can have an assistant that knows more about it than you do. Okay, so that would be where you find something to use that someone else has built. Now, also in this store, hold on, I gotta move y'all so I can get to it. Up here, is where you create your own assistant. So if you, again, have the plus version up here in the right-hand corner, you can hit create, okay? Now, in order to create, it does not require coding. It does not require a marketing degree. You literally just have a conversation with it and it will create it for you. So you can either create it like this by having a conversation, or you can configure it. Okay, if you have it configured, then this is assuming maybe you've already thought all about this and you have it saved in a Word doc or something else like that. If you want to upload files, let's say you want this to be a training assistant for your specific company. Okay, well, then you might want to upload all of your HR documents and your files and anything that would teach it about your business would be where you would do that. You would configure it and you would train it by giving it files that tell it the information that you need it to know. Okay, or again, that's the one where you tell it, type it, put in the things that you want it to do. Or you can create it by just having a conversation. So for this example, I could say, I want to create a marketing research assistant for my company. Okay. And it's just going to go back and forth with you. It's going to ask you questions, and then you're going to see on the right-hand side what it starts building.
Buffy,
Okay.
your screen's not sharing anymore.
It's not, it says I'm sharing. You are screen sharing. What are you seeing? Oops, hold on.
I see all the people.
You see all the people? All right,
I
hold
can
on.
see your screen.
You can? Oh,
Yep.
Okay. Anyone else besides Brandy not able to see? I can't actually see the people, so all right. Other people are saying they can see, so I'm not sure, Brandy. Sorry.
Sorry.
You can always watch the recording and see. Okay. All right. So if I'm creating this research assistant, this bot, this custom GPT, okay, it's going to automatically start, right? It's going to give it the title here, tell what it does, give me some kind of starting blocks, and easy enough, right? It's say, hey, let's give it a name. Do you want to call it this? Nope. I want to call it let's see, marketing intern of the year. That's what I want to call it. It doesn't matter. Okay, marketing intern of the year it is. Okay, so now it's going to make it a profile picture. Ooh, there's my marketing intern of the year. And you can see now how by having this conversation on the left, I have now taught it on the right, and now it's going to be trained. Okay, it's going to ask you more questions back and forth until you have it exactly what you want. Now, if I go to the configure setting, you can see now it's already filled in all of this thing. See, I didn't have to tell it what to do. It gave me the conversation starters right here. These are these blocks. And then again, if I wanted to upload files, I could still do it. So you can start by having a conversation with it and then switch over to the configure, upload files, and you can get it trained on the resources of your company. Does all that make sense? Any questions on that? Okay, we're gonna keep going because I still have a lot more to go. Okay, now, if I'm sharing a custom GPT with you, so these are all of mine on the edge right here that I've saved. Okay, if you're clicking on one, then it's going to give you up here basically a drop down menu. Let's see if it'll show me on this one. Okay, see this drop down menu, and it's going to say save to sidebar. Now mine will say hide because it's already there, but yours will just say save to sidebar. So after this class, when I'm sending out like the Prompting Pro and some other ones for you to get started with, if you want to keep it and use it, then you're going to want to click up here, click on the link, and then hit save to sidebar. And then you'll have a whole list of bots or assistants or whatever you want to call them on the side. Okay. All right. Now, next tool, let's move on. Okay, so that's pretty much where I got my start, and I have built bots for all the different businesses and all of the different things that I use in my business. So if you don't do anything else, again, just do the personalization on your GPT. Okay. All right. Now, moving to the next one, I gotta find which tab I'm on. Okay. So again, as you're prompting it, you're going to give it commands, treat it like an intern, tell it what you need it to know to be able to execute the task that you want it to do. The other thing I didn't show you was projects, but I'll save that for like a more deep dive into ChatGPT later, because otherwise we're going to run out of time. All right, next tool. Tool number 2, NotebookLM. This is one of my favorite tools, and it is not talked about enough, okay? I think at the last data that I saw showed that like 3% of business owners or people were using this. Crazy to me with all that it can do. Okay, so NotebookLM. Why would you use this instead of ChatGPT? Okay, this is private. Okay, so ChatGPT is going to go out and it's going to search the web for information, and it's going to give you answers that it thinks you want to hear. Okay, NotebookLM only gives you answers based on the material that you give it. Okay, so it is much less likely to hallucinate or make up crap because it is going to tell you answers on things that it finds. Okay. Now, because it's private, you can also do things like share a notebook with your client and not worry about the information that's in there going out to the World Wide Web. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So again, having to move around a few things. So a notebook just looks like this. Okay, so you can create a notebook. I just pulled up, let's see, this was the one that I had done last time. Okay, the cool thing about NotebookLM is you can add up to 300 sources. 300. Okay, now think use cases for this, right? You could add up to 300 YouTube links in here. And then you can have a live conversation about what is the best, most actionable items that I should have from all of these YouTube videos that I don't have time to watch. Okay. If you are doing a training class, you could upload everything, contracts and forms, HOA docs, your E&O insurance policy, anything that is pages and pages of information that you don't have time to read. Okay. The cool thing is once you have the resources updated in here, say you've got a 50-page HOA doc, if you ask it a question, it's going to go to that exact line and show you where to find that in the document. Okay, so if you need to look on whether your E&O insurance covers something, instead of going through and reading through 50 pages of it, you can literally just ask it the question and it's going to go to that page and it's going to pull up and show you what is on that page. Okay, now this one for an example was our Monday market update numbers, and it was a really, really, really boring Google sheet that was just filled with numbers. Okay, there was nothing else on it. It's just a Google sheet with numbers. Okay, so most people are like, okay, what do I do with a sheet of numbers, right? But what's interesting is for fun over here, when Rob was away, I got to play and I got to make some things with the numbers so that people would watch them. Okay, so I could make a video about the numbers. This is what it looks like, maybe. Okay, let's see. Let's dive into the story. Anyway, so moving forward. Up to 71 days. Okay, so you get the idea. I don't know if you could hear that or not, but basically it created a video off of a Google spreadsheet. All I gave it was a Google spreadsheet of numbers, and it created a video that was much more likely to be understood by people who are watching the video. Okay, um, let me get rid of that. You can also create flashcards or quizzes or mind maps, infographics, slide decks, all sorts of things. My most fun one, I think, is this one. This is a podcast, again, off the same Google Sheet. If you haven't seen this, this is really fun. But you can actually create a podcast and then interrupt it and ask it a question. So that looks like this. So see, it says interactive. Rounding in numbers when you're trying to figure out basic. Okay, so then there'll be this little button down here, and then you can actually, if you were at an open house, say, and you wanted to upload all of the information about say you were at a new construction build, and you dumped all of the information about the new construction community, and you had this podcast playing at your open house, and then people can just interrupt the podcast. Hey, can you tell me what the pending number was in September of 2024? So they are going to answer my exact question based on the material that I gave it in a fun way, because who doesn't like to be, on a podcast? Okay. So that is NotebookLM, some of the things that you can do with it. Also, I'm in operations, right? It can keep people from asking you questions, because if you upload everything that has any information that they need to know, you give them this notebook, there is no reason why they have to come and ask you a question ever again. They can ask the podcast, or they can just ask the thing and it will tell them the answer. So if they need to know where to find the paper towels, if that's in your manual, guess what? No more you being the go-to person anymore. So you can have everything thrown in here and people can use it and use the video form, the podcast form, or just the chat form and have all of their questions answered. Okay, so that is NotebookLM. Moving on. Going back here. And, I don't know what that did. Oh, I guess I clicked on something. Okay, tool number 3, Google AI Studio. I do not use this one as often, but I do use it for 2 specific things. Okay. This is a Google product, which means it works well with NotebookLM. It is free. NotebookLM is also free. You don't have to pay for it. There's no subscription. Okay. What I like the best about Google AI Studio, and this is what it looks like, is if you are here, there are 2 sections that I use. You can go to the playground and you can share your screen, and it can be kind of an over-the-shoulder helper for you. Okay, so if you are building something or you can't remember the steps to make that thing happen, then you can share your screen and talk to it live, and it will tell you where to click and what to do. So let's see if I can do this real quick. Share screen. Oh, this might be complicated. Let's try this. Share screen right here. And I'm going to say, hey, Google, can you tell me where do I go to create this podcast? To create a podcast, you would typically start by planning your content. Yes, I'm in NotebookLM, and I want to use that feature to create a podcast. Which one is that? Okay, so I'm going to turn that off. But you can see how if I forgot what I was doing, I can just have it look at the screen that I'm looking at, and then it will tell me, oh, I wanted to create that podcast. I need to go to audio overview to be able to do that. And you can see how it told me what I needed to do. So I use that feature in it if I get stuck on something and I just need somebody to step by step walk me through something that's complicated, or if I can't remember what to do. So I use that feature. Again, that is in Google AI Studio, in Playground, and it is the Talk to Gemini, and it is the stream or share screen feature. Okay. The other thing that I use Google AI Studio for is when I'm building something. Again, this is one I need to play with a little bit more, but you can build all sorts of things in here. I have used it to build a calculator before, just to play around with it. So you literally can tell it what you want to build. I want to build a calculator for first-time home buyers that compare their, I don't know, equity over time. and gives them ideas of how to save for a down payment. Okay, and then it's going to actually do the coding of the thing. So you now can create apps of any kind that you want to put on your website, and it's going to actually code the thing, make the thing. You can tell it what colors and things you want to be. It can put your branding and stuff all over it, but it can basically build it for you. Again, like all of the other tools we've talked about, just by you having a conversation and you tell it, hey, I want it to have a slider feature. Hey, I want it to be able to tell them that they could save this much a month. So you can see I'm not doing any of this. It's just typing off to the screen. It's building the whole coding platform. So I'm just going to let it do its thing, and then I will come back and show you that later. But you could easily, instead of like a custom GPT that had to do with investing, right? So we do a lot of investing. Instead of having a custom GPT or a bot to compare things about investing, I could literally build a calculator here. And then I could just type in the information and it would spit out whether or not that was a good investment or not. So those are some use cases, again, for how I use Google AI Studio. I use it mainly for those two things. There are probably lots more things that can be done here. I just haven't had time to play with it enough to know more than just those two. So there are probably much wiser people